What is going on? PJ Simmons here with Medici Project. Hey, thank you for taking some time to join me this morning. I know you guys are all over the country, literally from coast to coast and border to border. I hope you guys are enjoying possibly somewhat of a small summer break that you may have from the mass craziness of students being on campus and that sort of thing. Other than, of course, if you guys are doing summer school, and those are in session as well. If that's the case, then more power to you. Hope you were able to get through that. I'm sure you guys will. You are awesome. But hey, I don't want to take up all your time this morning. Really kind of wanted to start today off just introducing myself, our organization, and take you through this short webinar about the 5 elements to look for when choosing an alternative break. My name is PJ Simmons. Below me is our founder and executive director, Vince Hungate. Unfortunately, he's going to be unable to be with us today. But we have been doing alternative break trips for quite a bit of years now. Our organization, Medici Project, we are located in Atlanta, Georgia. We're running programs in Atlanta and New York City centered around urban poverty issues. And so if you have worked with Medici Project before, if you haven't, just kind of wanted to give you a quick brief about who we are, what we do. We absolutely love spending our time investing in college students. Really it's kind of a cliche term, but the idea of next generation leader. Man, these students that come on alternative break trips are really leaders in their communities, going on to be future leaders within various sectors of culture, and we believe very heavily in what you're trying to do as directors of these programs, and we want to partner with you and really just kind of help you give you some insight on how to really exactly what the title says, the 5 elements to look for when choosing an alternative break trip. And this is what I want to start off with. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, but this is really what Medici Project, the philosophy behind why we do what we do. We believe that students will find themselves, specifically in their vocations, operating in one or various sectors of seven sectors of cultural influence. And so if you see on here, these little blocks represent media, arts and entertainment, business, education, government, the social sector, church, religion, that type of stuff. And we believe that as students are going through school, and especially these alternative break trips, that these lessons that they are learning are prepping them to become major influencers within these various sectors of culture, whether they go on and open up their own businesses one day, or if they find themselves in the medical field or government or education or teachers or school superintendents, or religion as rabbis or pastors or any type of deacons or lay people, or even the arts and entertainment industry, musicians, filmmakers, that type of stuff. We believe that millennials, these students, can position their passions and their skill sets and leverage those things to influence these sectors of culture for the common good, really through a framework and a filter of serving others. So let's get started here. I'm going to take a quick drink of water so I can continue talking. Apologize about that, but hey, let's jump right into the 5 elements to look for when choosing an alternative break trip. And this is the first element. You want to look for opportunities that are fun. And here's why. Millennials want to mix pleasure with work. You're seeing this a lot within various vocational realms, specifically in the world of like startups, entrepreneur, when students leave college. They want to create an experience where it's not necessarily their vocation is completely separate from the rest of their lives. They don't want their vocations to be spent as just this small sector of 8 hours, 10 hours a day that is completely separate from just the natural rhythm that they're going through with life. They want to engage pleasure with work. And this is how this kind of plays into your service projects and choosing an alternative break trip. You want to experience things that are fun. Yes, definitely fun in the service projects and opportunities that you guys will be doing in service, but also as well as just creating an experience as a whole in these trips with the cities that you choose to go into, the communities that you choose to go into. And the reason that this is because fun creates an experience. And a memorable experience creates raving fans. We believe what you are doing as directors of these programs on campuses are incredible, incredible opportunities for students. And we know that throughout the year, you are trying your best to get more students to come on trips, to make the trips as best as they can possibly be. And what happens is when students are able to have fun on trips, it creates raving fans for your program. And we all know what raving fans do, right? I'm an Apple guy. Some of you guys I know are PC people, which is totally fine, but I have MacBook, iPhone, like all that stuff. Here's the thing. Apple doesn't pay me a dime to tell you how passionate I am about their products. I run and tell you, man, the newest iPhone's out, the newest MacBook is out. You got to check it out. It's so awesome, so much better than Windows, so much better than whatever. And you know, that's just my opinion, of course. But I'm not getting paid to do that. I'm going and telling my friends. When students have the same sort of fun experience with your program, they run and tell their friends. The second point I want to make is that you want to look for alternative breaks that are logistically clear and simple. And here's the reason why. Details offer freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom of safety, and freedom for fun. Clear logistics kills anxiety, and clear logistics leave room for questions that matter. You know, this is really, it's one of the most common sense elements of an alternative break trip, but at the same time can be one of the most difficult to find and to come by. And here's why this is so important. What happens when you are on an alternative break trip or you are prepping for an alternative break trip and everything is just garbled? There's no communication with the site leaders. You really don't have any expectation or understanding of what type of projects you're going to be doing. What are the issues going on in the city? How is your team actually going to be helping better the situation? Even the points of, you know, where are you guys going to be staying? Who's going to be meeting you guys there? Who's going to be the point person once you get into the city and start serving at the projects? You want to have clear logistics, because what this does for you as a site leader and for the department leader is, once the logistics are very clear, this opens up room for you to do exactly the mission and vision of what you're wanting to accomplish on your alternative break trips. And so you're wanting to engage students as a leadership development week, or understanding urban poverty issues, or understanding issues such as human trafficking or homelessness or food deserts or anything like that. Your students are much more able to focus on the issues at hand and learn from their experiences when everybody isn't going around worrying, okay, what in the world are we trying to do next? What's coming up? What are we doing now? What are we doing 2 days from now? That type of stuff. So you want to look for alternative break trips that are logistically clear and simple. And just kind of an encouragement to you guys, if you're like not going with an agency, but you are planning your own alternative break trip, we would encourage you to take care of details, knock out details, be as clear and as simple as possible on logistics, both for your sanity and for the sanity of your students. The third point I want to make of 5 essential elements is that you want to look for alternative break trips that are dignifying in nature. And this is what I mean by this. Sometimes it's so easy to really position ourselves as those who are serving, to position ourselves as, hey, we're going into this community to give, to kind of stay there for a week, to help out, and then recluse and come back home. And what we want to encourage and kind of challenge you guys with your students is we want you to pair service with dignifying acts. We believe at Medici Project on what we call a philosophy of service with dignity. And this is a little bit more in depth of what that means. And so say you're coming on a trip with Medici Project to Atlanta or New York City. What you typically won't find is, say, we just make a bunch of peanut butter sandwiches and start walking around downtown and passing them out sort of thing. We want to expose you to very innovative and strategic models of organizations that are empowering people in certain low-income demographics that are helping them live sustainable lifestyles. And so not only are you coming and serving, you're serving alongside of people, you're engaging in relationship with people, you're positioning yourselves to learn from other people's experiences, and you're learning an ongoing model that your students can go back into their own communities and implement, as well as assisting in the model that is proven to work time and time again in the communities that you're already serving in. So look for opportunities that kind of have that philosophy in mindset, rather than just this kind of hop in, hey, we're going to serve, come here, do a couple of tasks, and go back home type of thing. The fourth one is that you want to be very strategic in how you plan your alternative break trips. You want to be strategic educationally, you want to be strategic in challenge, and you want to be strategic in long-term goals. Here's something that we're still trying to figure out at Medici Project. Yes, we love having students come in and spend a whole week with us, but what we want to think long-term is, well, what happens after that? You know, when students just come in and serve, are we really maximizing the time that we have to invest in a very strategic way in their education, in their leadership development, and how they view the needs of culture, society, the world? That's why we're implementing a lot of things as far as guest speakers, educational resources with curriculum, for reflection curriculum that goes hand in hand during the week with their trips, really trying to think long term with how does this week affect these students' long-term vision and goals with what they're wanting to accomplish with their lives. And we just think that that is super important. And what we're finding, and maybe what you're finding as well, is that these experiences, these alternative break trips, are becoming very monumental experiences for students. So much so in the fact that they are, many of them are actually going back to school, changing their majors, changing their focus of interest of what they're wanting to do as a vocation, and that just serves as a huge testimony of how important and how much of an opportunity that we have to invest in students. So I want to challenge you to think very strategically about the alternative break trips that you're choosing. And the last one, of course, is kind of a given, is that you want to look for opportunities that are proven in nature. These agencies that you are talking to about partnering with, these organizations that you're going to and serving, communicate with them. do a little digging. You know, what is it that you're doing? Is it actually making an impact? What are other people saying who have gone on the trip or have served at your organization? What are they saying? What are their responses? You know, what are students who have been at your university who have gone on alternative break trips, what are they saying about their experiences with certain agencies and organizations that they're serving with? What we do here at Medici Project is we host alternative break trips in Atlanta and New York City. We actually derive our name from the Medici family, which is a family with major influence that literally brought all of Europe out of the Dark Ages into the Italian Renaissance. Very influential in the art sector, business sector, education, religion. Four popes came from their family lineage. You know, artists like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, you know, all the Ninja Turtles. All of their artistry was commissioned by this family, and so what we kind of piggyback on their name is because just like they really were kind of behind the scenes individuals that commissioned other people's work to influence culture for the common good. We want to be that for students. We want to come alongside of millennials and students and help them think and engage strategically on how to influence culture for the common good, specifically with their certain passions and skill sets that have been given to them. Our service projects center around urban low-income urban poverty issues and the effects of those issues. And so centering around issues such as human trafficking, homelessness, refugees, education issues, public school tutoring, charter school tutoring, that type of thing, health and nutrition, homebound elderly, and environmental issues. Here are some of our, just a few of our partners. We have a lot more than just these. But these are some of our individuals and schools who have joined us over the last couple of years. Some testimonials from past students as well as student leaders who have led trips. You see here from literally spanning from all over the country, University of Delaware to Florida Gulf Coast University, Ohio State, and they have just been a blast to work with. In our city, or cities that we serve in, Atlanta and New York City, man, we have a lot of fun with the groups that we have joining us here in both Atlanta and New York City. Tons of stuff to do, tons of extracurricular things that we can engage your students in, from sports experiences to museums to, you know, famous monuments to sites in both cities. You can check out our website. Feel free to do that. Also check out here on, you know, what we offer in alternative break trips in both Atlanta and New York, and that gives you some kind of more information about our pricing structure, what those pricing structures include, that type of thing. And so we'd love for you to visit. If you haven't checked it out yet, feel free to visit our website at mediciproject.org. Click under the Programs tab, click Alternative Breaks, or I would love to hear from you personally. Feel free to reach out to me at, my email address is pj@mediciproject.org. Would love to hear from you, you know, if you have any questions about really just educational resources, about alternative break trips, about service learning, leadership development. That's kind of my world. I love just open up for conversation and hearing those sorts of things. It's a ton of fun. Or if you're interested in learning more about our alternative break trips in Atlanta and New York City. And last but not least, feel free to connect with us through social media. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Everything that we're at is under Medici Project. We love to learn about your experiences, what it is that you're trying to build on your campus and through your program, and we love just following up and keeping up with our students who have joined us over the last couple of years as well. Well, hey, I wanted to thank you for joining me today for these last couple of minutes. I hope it was beneficial. Hope you enjoyed it. And feel free to reach out to us anytime you want. Check us out online, MediciProject.org, or email me at pj@MediciProject.org. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.